Hey guys, Kouklophis here, and welcome back to another NGS video, where today we're going to be talking about the headline that just came out for November 29th. In this, there's a whole bunch of information on the Stia region, as well as the rest of 2022 for NGS, and with this, I'm going to try to look at as many hidden details as possible, but also try to keep it concise. So let's actually take a look at this. Right out the gate, they show us the 4th region, Stia, and its unique and gorgeous environments. This is coming December 7th, as many of you already know, and it includes distinct areas such as like hot springs, molten areas, and others, such as the newly named Dryson plant, which kind of looks like chemical plant from Sonic, as well as the Mediola outer area. There'll also be a hub area known as the Stia camp, which is pretty similar to the Kvaris camp, and includes a whole variety of NPCs. Also, just like in Kvaris, there will be items limited based off the time of day and weather. But up next, there will be a different spin on Gigantics, where they'll show up in squads known as the Recon Gigants, which will patrol throughout the whole Stia region. So I imagine with these, it'll be quite the task doing this as a group or even solo. With these and the rest of the open world Gigantics, they'll all be level 74, which means that the level cap is going to be level 70. Then there will also be new trials, one example being the Zonal Destruction, which plays out just like some red boxes in which you need to destroy Dazzle pods to break the Zonal's barrier and ultimately destroy the Zonal itself. Another thing that will be dotted throughout the region will be lava pools and lava bombs. These lava bombs can be thrown at enemies or what SEGA calls complex minerals to get a chunk of items, kind of just like randomite. Then for combat zones, there will be a new mechanic for the PSE gauge, where if it lowers, you get an increased chance of a PSE encore whenever your next PSE burst happens, which kind of alleviates some of the frustration with this system. Next, we of course will be getting new Trania or Cocoon/Towers to challenge us and let us acquire some more skill points for new skills that we'll be getting with this update as well. There'll also be new tasks to complete, one of which I noticed was from Gaiden. So once again, we'll be getting a really high experience quest. From what I see here, it's like 20 million XP for what seems like a really easy task. But then SEGA starts to show off some of the story that will be introduced with the Stia region, where it seems like the main objective is trying to see if Darkfalls is lurking in the Stia region. And then we'll be meeting up with the advanced Stia team, where we'll be introduced to new characters such as Glenn and Kanui from there, where we should be getting a lot of answers to questions that we've had for a long time now. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the level cap will be 70, so only 5 more levels. It seems like SEGA's in a comfortable spot now with leveling, and they're trying to slow down the pace, so we're only going to see like 5 level increments for maybe like main regions and maybe here and there throughout the year. But then they also showed off some of the class skills that we'll be getting in the Stia region. With these, they're the same ones that they showed off in the previous headline, so nothing new there. But once again, some of them look great, others kind of mediocre, but I don't imagine this is everything that we'll be getting. Now for the equipment though, they showed off the 8-star Effulgent series once again, which is the fire element one that you can obtain. But then there was a new 8-star series, Kouklophis, which is a physical weapon that has bonuses against Doll's enemies. To obtain it, you need 200 Infernium, which is a new resource you can obtain in the open world, like Blizzardium from Kvaris, but you can also exchange for it, as well as get it from killing Gigantics. There's also other things you can exchange the Infernium for, like class cubes, duelable 4s, Ultra 4s, even a camo for the Kouklophis at the bottom of the list as well. There was also a couple new augments shown, such as the Stia Domina, which gives 3% potency, but minus 2% down resistance or status resistance. I think this was an error because the JP version of the headline showed the damage resistance instead of down resistance for this augment, but it's a nice augment regardless of what it turns out to be. Also, there was a Dulder Soul 4, which is a mixed soul with HP, PP, and whatnot, but also has minus down resist. With this, it was correct on both versions, but for that Stia, just not sure. Then, per usual, a yellow and purple Battledia will be added to Stia, which function pretty much just the same as everywhere else. But then they also showed a new urgent quest, the Dulderis Vera, which looks like it'll be a fun fight, and where you can obtain that aforementioned Dulder's Soul from. There's a couple field races that they added too, one being a dash and one being a field race, but more importantly, a ton of quality of life changes, including a new face option, tags for SG scratches showing what's new and what's leaving the scratch, exchanging featured items for boosts. Region mag boost can now be refreshed without having to wait for the boost to end, using Ryuker devices in combat. auto-joining open parties, ranks actually showing up in the UI, alliances on your ARC's ID, alliance comments, the character count is increased, and backdrop additions to the ARC's ID. That is the majority of what is happening this 7th, except for a few AC scratches, one being Crystalline Concepts, which includes some parkas, cast parts, and some neat emotes from a previous contest. The other 2 are Revival scratches, one NGS spec items from last November, and the other is Gothic Memories, which includes a whole bunch of goth items from base game. But now we move on to December 14th, where we have a refined Form 9 SG scratch, which has Christmas-themed items from base turned into NGS spec, and a new mission pass. Also on the 14th are 2 Revival scratches for Christmas items or from last December, and another Addy scratch where you can stock up on the Addy Augments and other support items. That's all for the 14th though, pretty short, but on the 21st there will be a whole Christmas event, which is another seasonal event where you can get points for different items, where it includes an 8-star weapon called Tenebrous. It has the overpowered seasonal augment that you can use for a limited time, but it also comes with the ice element. There will also be a limited time quest that has you destroy targets like Cannonball Rumble, but at the end is a new Snowflake Boochin, which can spawn ice statues, which can explode. There will also be Rappy spots in the open world, where you need to kill a dread enemy, and you go to a Rappy spot kind of nearby, and you can find an Empa Rappy there and beat it up for different triggers and other items. Other than this is a Field Race ARCs record and the Frozen World AC scratch, which has an Ice Queen outfit, sexy Santa attire, and other Christmas-themed cosmetics. But now we move into the questions from the operation report. First was asking about the gold/silver prims not being auto-sold with auto-sell, so they'll be changing that in the future to where you can if you have it. Second, they'll be making it noticeable that you've registered a music disc finally, and then for creative spaces in the future, furniture will work like AC ticket items to where you can bound it to your account, and then for base game furniture, you just won't be able to use it with this new system since it's kind of incompatible, but they will remake some of them for future scratches. Then at the tail end of the headline was a few extra campaigns, such as a new AC pack for Stia, which includes a number of cosmetics for around $20, and then boost campaigns throughout the month as shown, some AC and SG deals, as well as on the 14th of December have up to a 50% discount on AC. Just keep in mind that it is limited for each store. And then for this next thing, it probably doesn't pertain to most, but there will be an NGS official creator accessory featuring the official logo given to creators in that program, which awards different colors depending on how long they have been in that said program. It's a nice little incentive on top of what they get already. They also showed the Sympathy 2023 music concert again with some additional details, including the cast, as well as what bonus items you'll get from getting a ticket, which includes a whole bunch of different cosmetic items. That was the whole headline though. The next one is going to be happening December 27th and is going to include all of the January information. But what are your guys' thoughts on this headline, good or bad? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.